No more at halftime.
For one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Good morning, and please forgive me if there's a couple of yawns a little bit, at least in the first segment of halftime today. Phil Elson at Boehm Walker Stadium, my friend Matt Jones, and the C-Unit Christian Johnston in our ESPN Arkansas headquarters. And we had ourselves a late night at Boehm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I could, after yesterday, if I have enough energy at the moment to give a full-fledged woo. It was just exactly the way that you just said it, Matt. Woo.
Woo.
But one that's got a half an exclamation point behind it after last night's game.
Woo pig suey. Most baseball I've watched, Phil, this year. Big fan of number 8. We watched a couple innings, saw him bat, saw people go about it. Big fan of number 8.
And number 8 is Hudson White, who had he was one of the guys that came through the big hit with a game-tying hit in the 5th inning as Arkansas came from 7 runs down, 7 runs down in the 4th inning. For a 9-8 victory in, I got to say, that's the game of the year right now, to be quite honest. You get your win over Oregon State. There's a couple of SEC games that stand out, but nothing quite as dramatic as last night. And the thing to take away from it is, you know what? This team, for all of the being maligned offensively, and there was reason to feel like that because going into the 4th inning yesterday, they'd scored 3 runs in 28 innings, all on solo homers. So I'm not sure how many folks outside the first base dugout last night thought that they had what it took to win that kind of a game, and you know what? They did, which means they can win a slugfest. That's what I take away from last night.
I saw the Texas Tech's version of Randy Johnson, number 44. He was trying his darndest, wasn't he?
In terms of at least
it just didn't work. Yeah, it just wasn't working.
He had a little bit of that look. You're right. Maybe might have had about 15 miles an hour less on the fastball.
Not the same caliber of Randy Johnson.
Yeah. And that poor kid, Hudson Luce is the name of the pitcher that Arkansas rallied from behind against in the 5th inning, and you could see with every pitch he threw, that his shoulders just slumped a little bit more. His head hung just a little bit. You could see it from here in the booth. You didn't even need to look and watch what was happening. You could see it just on his body language and his shoulders and his head.
Yeah, he was looking for the portal. He's like, is there a portal button I can press already?
Yeah. Well, 9-8, a comeback win. It is the most runs Arkansas has allowed when winning a ball game. This was the kind of game last year's team, played routinely. It's just it won't happen very often that an opponent scores 8 runs. So that was awesome last night, and it was a long one too.
What happened in the 3rd, Phil, when they were able to score their 6 runs? Was it just bad? Were we missing our spots? Were we giving some errors?
2nd inning, they scored 6 runs.
Sorry,
yeah.
2nd inning. Yeah,
it was. They were just able to they were just able to get pitches to hit early in the count.
They're on scholarship too.
It happened really quickly. 5 consecutive base hits. Bobby, I thought Ben made some good pitches to the kid McGee who ended up hitting that home run. The 0-2 pitch was off the plate, and he hit it I think in the only spot that it could really get out. And I kind of feel like that was almost the same kind of inning that happened to the Randy Johnson lookalike. But I thought Bobby pitched better than he did there. Just, they were able to find the holes. It wasn't like any of those hits outside, and not even the home run. The home run wasn't crushed. They just kind of hit it at the right spot, which is part of hitting. But Ben will be okay. I think he'll bounce back from that. He looked really good the last few times out. I was impressed with Texas Tech to a point until the 9th inning when, they kind of literally gave Arkansas the opportunity to win the game, gave Nolan Souza his chance to play the hero. It's not like they were perfect in the field until the 9th inning, but 2 errors, a hit batsman on a pitcher's count to load the bases with nobody out. And at that point, it just felt all you got to do here is make contact. And man, it was an outstanding moment when Nolan Souza stepped into the batter's box and wins the game with this. Well, don't worry about it because I think my computer doesn't want to play things for me the way that I want to play it right now, so let's not worry about that. I will say, though, it was an outstanding moment for Souza. Coming off cold, DVH, a bit of a roll of the dice going with the lefty. He played the percentages in that case. The guy he took out of the game, Wagner, had hit very well up until that point. So, Dave kind of pushed all the right buttons with the right pitcher at the right time, and now you got to go for a sweep today. And what's the mindset of a team that blew a 7-run lead on the road? Remember last night? I mean, you turned it on ESPN2, Matt. That was national TV.
I was on the golf course, got done 7-1 when I pulled in to watch it. Fixing dinner, doing the thing. Saw the chopper to third when the bases were loaded, and he stepped on the bag to third and throws it to first when we got the runner in. That's kind of the stuff. Yeah, I saw a couple innings, so it was fun to see Arkansas still compete and still fight. And getting down. What is being down 7-1 like feel in another sport? Because is it like being down 12 in basketball? Is it like being down 3 touchdowns, or is it not so significant?
No, to me that feels like it's about
because that's a lot of runs, right? I mean, to come back, yeah.
Especially for a team that isn't known for putting big numbers up there offensively of late, and so there were a lot of look. I mean, I can understand folks looking at the numbers, watching what happened in the Alabama series, a few other games here and there, and think, so great. They got a great pitching staff. They can field a little bit. Their downfall is going to be their hitting. And if that's the case, well, then yesterday's game is a perfect example of a game that a team like this would, like that, in people's mind, would lose. You know how difficult it can be to get to 9 runs for this team? It really is. Now, they've done it in the midweek. They've done it against like Little Rock and Arkansas State. Texas Tech is a different animal. And, they brought out some of their guys that they are going to be throwing on the weekends. So, to me, this does say the possibilities are there. Changes in the lineup potentially are a reason why this also happened. You're going to, I think, get Kendall Diggs back for the weekend against South Carolina as he deals with a shoulder issue. But Peyton Holt looked good in center field. Edmondson, there was a ball he probably could have caught in right field, but did not get to. And I was impressed with Jason Jones, who, you don't see him on the weekends, but the way he hit yesterday, I don't know, maybe you do, because they're still searching. That's why. I mean, I'd have to look at how many lineups Dave has used, but I'd mention it to him. Yesterday was the 36th game. They've probably had 23 or 24 different lineups, and nothing looked like yesterday's lineup. So for a team that's ranked second and had been ranked first for over a month and won now 31 of 36 games, to think of all the tinkering Dave's had to do in the lineup. And yesterday, one of the biggest explosions, I think that 5th inning's the biggest inning of the year against any Power 5 team. I don't know. Maybe you see a little spark. Maybe that spark continues today, and hopefully it'll continue this weekend when the Razorbacks take on South Carolina. So my energy's a little bit down because you know what it's like. It was a 7 o'clock game. I didn't get out of the ballpark until like 11:30. And you can't just go back and
2 hours, 3 hours before you can go to bed. Yeah,
it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. It's almost like you're lying in bed, and you have to tell yourself to close your eyes and go to sleep, and then you actually have to like open the pen for the sheep in your brain and sort of push them out so they can be counted. It took a while to get those sheep going, Matt, and I don't know what I lost track at 1,002.
You got to get a sheepdog. You got to herd him into the right corral.
I need a mental shepherd, man. That's what we all need. I've been lacking my mental shepherd for a long, long time. Clay Henry can be our mental shepherd. We've got him coming on today at 12 o'clock.
And what I was going to say, Phil, it's contagious. All sports, the big the momentum's going on. You score a run. You see one of your teammates have success. You see something good happen, and then it kind of breeds for more success. And so I think that's what was going on there in that 5th inning. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it really is. It's throughout the entire game. I mean, look at a couple of guys that came off the bench and came up really big in singular moments. Ty Wilmsmeyer's been the starting center fielder for almost every game. He starts yesterday on the bench because he hasn't been hitting at all. Not at all. Well, when it comes time to get in the game and pinch run in the eighth inning after Jones hit a leadoff double, and there's a guy who doesn't get in the lineup on the weekends. Jones, you're down a run in the eighth, leadoff double, and he's happy to get off the field with Wilmsmeyer getting in there. And then Ty Wilmsmeyer makes this great running catch in the ninth inning when it looked like there was a sure RBI double headed to the left field gap. That's one moment. Then there's Souza, who's been, a designated hitter on the weekends, and we see him play third base. He very well could have had a couple of other at-bats that they'd thrown lefties or they'd thrown righties earlier, and Dave kept him on the bench. But he was ready to go for the ninth inning in the moment that was huge and fought out of an 0-2 hole and hits a game-winning sac fly that I think would have been a home run on a day where you didn't have 20-mile-an-hour winds coming in from right field. So, yeah, the bench was on display yesterday, and the bench yesterday was made up of guys that usually start on the weekend. So, to me, it felt like a total team win, especially also when you get 6 different pitchers working, combining to walk 1 against 14 strikeouts. Huge win for the team. Huge win. I'd like to see another one today. Halftime can be a win because the one and only Hall of Famer Clay Henry joins us at 12 noon. And in just a moment, we have Grant Hall, who was there watching the game last night. I just want how many of you stayed up for the entire night, and then how long did it take for you to get to sleep? Just think about it. 7:02 first pitch, 3-hour, 39-minute game that was electric, absolutely electric. You couldn't turn it off once the comeback started in the 5th inning. So did anybody get to sleep before midnight last night? I know I didn't. I wonder if that'll be the case today. In just a moment, we are joined by Grant Hall on halftime, so stay with us.
This is halftime.
We'd like our program to reflect our state, the great state of Arkansas. Loyal, tough, hard-working. One of our goals every year is to make the state of Arkansas proud of the football team. In my office is a sign that says you're not coming to play for the University of Arkansas, you're coming to play for the state of Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The Camping World RV Expo is coming to the Choctaw Casino and Resort in Pocola, Oklahoma, April 18th through the 21st. Admission and parking are free. Tour over 50 fully staged new RVs starting at less than $5 a day. Plus, take advantage of special RV Expo pricing. Participate in the ultimate RV giveaway for your chance to win a new RV and more. Don't miss the Camping World RV Expo at the Choctaw Casino and Resort in Pocola, Oklahoma, April 18th through the 21st. Learn more at campingworld.com/Pocola. Certain restrictions apply. For more details, visit campingworld.com/Pocola.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a GMC Sierra Crew Cab at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Choose from 2.7 or 5.3-liter Sierra Crew Cabs this month and get 2.9% for 72. Or get up to $6,500 in factory rebates on select 2024 GMC Sierra trucks. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley models in RV, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey and Hole Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Money, you can rely on the old man's money. It's a bitch, girl, but it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. That money won't get you too far, get you too far. Oh, oh. So yeah.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Check in with Grant Hall, who joins us each Wednesday on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Grant, always appreciate your time. Good morning, and did you get any sleep last night?
I slept 9 hours last night, and most of that's probably more than I slept. I was averaging about half that all during the Masters, so that was nice.
How the heck did you pull that off? Would you go to sleep right after the game ended and wake up? I mean, there's no way I could have pulled that off. I'm getting texts in here that's like I couldn't go to sleep until 2, 3 o'clock after midnight. What did you do? How much melatonin can one person take?
Well, the confession is that I fell asleep in my chair when Arkansas was trailing 8-7. I guess, what was that, the 7th or 8th inning?
And then, 7th and 8th inning. That's right.
It all happened without my. I mean, they tied it in the 8th and won it in the 9th, and that's great. And there's this great picture of Souza, and everyone's talking about his physique today.
Yeah, there's another text on the line that says if I looked like Souza, I wouldn't own a shirt.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest deficit they've overcome, Phil. And I think if Arkansas goes on to do significant things this year, they can look back at this game. There was a lot of animus, I guess you'd say. It looked to me like in the game. I mean, Texas Tech is trying to steal twice with a 6-run lead, and Joe Morgan said one time he never did that, and he really disapproved of teams doing it. Of course, I'm sure Texas Tech coach who did not make himself available, I guess, after the game to talk, but he probably figured he needed as many runs as he can get. And Hudson White played and hit sharply into a double play early, and then he got that big hit later. And I don't know if there was any back and forth or anything, but Arkansas was losing 7-0. And to come back and win that, I'm sure they enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah, I really obviously did, but it just, I think there are a lot of people that are surprised today, to throw it out there like that. I think there are some folks, I think there's a lot of folks who look at a team that 35 games into a season hadn't had to play a game like that, really doesn't have to score 8 or 9 runs normally to win a ball game. And so you felt like that was really a test yesterday. There's multiple levels to it. To come back from down 7 is one thing. To win a game where 17 runs were scored between the two teams is another thing. It's just it shows another side to this team. Apparently it doesn't always need to be 5-2 or 3-1. I mean, to win it, you have to win the 9 to 8 games over the course of a college season.
Yeah, you have to win the 2-1 games and the 9 to 8 games. That's the sign of a really good team. And I thought Holt got a big hit there. I heard you discussing him yesterday. That was interesting that he played center field, and then Welsmeyer came in and scored a run as a pinch runner. I mean, Diggs did not play last night. I don't know what's the deal with that, Phil, why he didn't play.
David said it's a shoulder.
Okay.
He didn't elaborate on anything about it, but it sounds to me like it's something that's been nagging for Kendall for a while, which might explain a little bit of, the dip in his production. So, but they said that got an anti-inflammatory, should be ready to go this weekend against South Carolina. It's a bat you got to get going, but man, I mean, there's some Peyton Holt. This is just rare. It's he has started at 3 different positions in the outfield in the last 4 games. Like, I've asked him, I can call you utility man, right? And he literally is. I mean, that's a utility man.
Yeah, he's the Swiss Army knife. Well, early on, Carl Ravitz was talking about the possibility of Texas Tech run ruling Arkansas, and I don't know if that drifted back to them, but it just seemed like there was more feeling in this game. We'll see what happens today as they do it again. But Bobby, what was it? He gave up, I guess, 6 hits and 7 batters or something, and then Arkansas came back and got him off the hook.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. Keeping it in baseball for a moment here. We talked quite a bit yesterday about Whitey Herzog and his his effect on baseball. We know him as the Cardinals manager and as a Hall of Famer there, but I think sometimes we forget that he also managed George Brett. I think when Brett was a rookie and took the Royals to 3 division pennants. He was a general manager with the Angels for a few years. He kind of have an oversized influence than just somebody who won a World Series with the St. Louis Cardinals. And personality is also a reason why, because he seemed to be a bit of a unique character, kind of an old school baseball guy.
Yeah, Whitey had the common touch. It's a term that Darrell Royal used about Frank Broyles one time, and Darrell himself had it. Someone who could relate to all kinds of people. And I remember when Whitey Herzog was managing Texas, people talk Whitey this, Whitey that. He just was a guy that people gravitated to. And I'll never forget one time in a World Series in St. Louis, I was they had this thing the night before at a ballroom at the old Marriott across the street, and everybody in baseball was there because how league people gather at the World Series. Steve Carlton had long since departed the Cardinals. I remember he was there, and Whitey Herzog came over. There were so many people in this big ballroom that he came down. We were sitting on the floor on the rug. He was telling stories, and he was telling stories about Casey Stengel managing the Mets, and falling asleep during the game and stuff. And he could just go around and be part of any group. He would regale writers in his office after games. Frank, I mean, he would go in there not wearing clothes and talk to the writers after the game.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do that now because there are cameras all around. But he died at 92. Carl Erskine died at 97, and Steve Sloan died at 79. They say they always die in threes. That's 2 baseball people and a football coach. And the reason I mentioned Steve Sloan, there was a time when Frank Broyles considered him as head coach at Arkansas, and it was I believe it was when he was in the process of getting Lou Holtz to come. And then there were some complications there for a few days with the Jets. And I remember at one point Frank was about to fly and see Steve Sloan, but he would do that sometimes. He would have 2 different people that he was looking at, maybe so that the other would get the feeling that he better go ahead and act if that job was available, But he had was a great quarterback also at Alabama, Steve Sloan.
Hey Grant, I'm with you on the Masters on Sundays. I saw DeChambeau chip in there on 18 on Saturday, and you're thinking, okay, maybe he can get hot. And then Scotty just put on a clinic. Grant, it kind of reminded me of what Rory did out in Quail Hollow when he won that major out there about 10 years ago. Just driving better than everybody, making putts, putting the ball in the right spot. Just absolutely a joy to watch. What was your takeaway from the Masters?
Yeah, he's just so good with his short game, and that gets overlooked. I mean, he got up and down on the first hole from about 65 feet. He was short of the green, chipped it up there about 4 feet and made it. He does that all the time. And on the eighth hole, he hit this drive. My son and I were over there to the left of the gallery ropes, and the ball came right up there next to us. And so he took a long time. We watched all of his mannerisms, took two clubs in his hand, chose the one, hit it up there, and made birdie. And then on 9, Scott was on one side of the rope, I was on the other, and we looked up there, and he hits this shot, and people started standing up behind the green, and you think, was this thing going to go in? And it didn't, but it was an easy birdie, and I just thought the tournament was over right there. I mean, I'd never thought that he would not win that after that. Just has everything going for him, and I think I picked him, but I mean, it was 4-1, so it was a pretty easy pick, right?
Well, yeah, right. I mean, he's just playing so good. What's any take to this rumor? I saw this number $850 million to Rory to go to be a live golfer. Any truth to that?
I think he has said today that he's sticking with the PGA Tour. I mean, whether there was anything ever to it or not, I don't know. But I'm personally relieved to hear him say that he's staying with the PGA Tour. John Rahm said that, and then about 2 weeks later went with Liv. So I hope that stays the situation.
What would a guy like so Scotty Scheffler got $3.6 million to first place Masters, but we understand that it's lifetime. It's just all the other things that go with it. Just his prize money. The kid from Sweden 2.1, and then you had a couple guys at 1.3. What would Scotty get? What would his value be if Liv? Would they offer him $500 million?
Oh, I think probably so. Yeah, I mean that'd be the feather in Greg Norman's cap. By the way, I talked to Greg Norman. He was walking the grounds at the Masters last week with his daughter Jensen, and I told him, 81, his first year was my first year, and he finished fourth that year. But anyway, he said his hand was sore from shaking so many hands that day. I mean, that's one level. That's a level of there's Greg Norman, who almost won the Masters and everything. But then the other side of it is I saw Nick Price about 30 minutes later, and they used to be good friends. And Nick Price said to me, he's just pulling his usual, what, and not really very appreciative of what Norman's trying to do with golf. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with this whole thing. But I'm glad Rory McIlroy apparently is sticking with the PGA Tour.
I've been reading that that some of these players are thinking that golf is losing fans by this kind of war going on between the two leagues and poaching players from one for another, and all the dollar figures that are getting thrown around. Is golf less popular than it was because of this? Is this the kind of thing that can? I wouldn't imagine that the popularity of golf is destroyed because it's the kind of sport that a lot of people can just get out and play themselves, which kind of keeps it popular.
Well, the ratings have been down on TV this year for the most part, but last week it sure didn't feel, the people that were there sure didn't feel like there was anything wrong with it. And of course, when you have the dominant player right now winning, he's not the kind of person. He says golf is not the most important thing in his life. He was all set to leave if his wife had delivered early. He was going to leave even during the round Sunday. Although it's interesting, when Mickelson was in this situation in '99, Amy was actually going in. I never knew this. She was actually beginning to go into labor, on that Sunday, and there would have been a playoff on Monday if Payne Stewart had not made that putt. And Mickelson said he was going to go home, but she wasn't going to tell him. So that would have been really something to get that close. But maybe Scheffler. I think he's a good person, and I think he's going to gain more and more followers as he keeps doing this.
Let's leave it there, Grant. Appreciate you hopping on. We'll do it again next week. Have a great rest of the week.
Okay, guys. See you.
Thank you, Grant.
Grant Hall with us each Wednesday on Halftime. Hey, today is Wednesday, so at Joe's Grilling Cantina, not only the best Tex-Mex, also the best service, and Nacho Average Wednesday. You get $1 off all nachos, including their new 3-cheese carnita nachos, and $1 off all beers, draft, or bottles. Get over there Friday, too, because it's Fajita Friday, featuring charbroiled steak and chicken, tender, full of flavor, comes with all the extras. And, of course, Saturday, endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef and chicken enchiladas you can eat at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, better service in Fort Smith at 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps, joesfortsmith.com, and the Waiter app for an order. Our McClarty Daniel hotline open for you right now on Halftime. The number is 877-377-6963. We are right back.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
You're listening to Halftime live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
You just ordered Mexican food and you're thinking we need everything to make margaritas. Well, no worries. Uber Eats and DoorDash is now available at Four Corks Wine and Spirits. It's fast and convenient to get all your beer, wine, and spirits by calling Uber Eats or DoorDash. Four Corks Wine and Spirits has a wide selection of bourbons, whiskey, craft beers, and the coldest imports in town. Stop in the climate-controlled wine cellar for the perfect selection of fine wines, too. Uber Eats and DoorDash now available at Four Corks Wine and Spirits, just past the intersection of Mazard and Zero Street toward Ben Gehring Park.
Yes.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their their work.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
If I go, if I go, if I go, if I go. Self as well. We can talk about things we never want to talk about.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Former Richard Davenport reported in the Democrat Gazette today that the Razorbacks are going to be in the running for Jeremy Roach, who was the captain at Duke last couple of years.
He's a nice piece. Watched him play. He's a college guy. He could go over to Australia afterwards and play, but he's not an NBAer. So he's ran a team. I like that move. I mean, I think that would be if you could get him. He knows how to play point guard.
Be interesting. So he already knows he can score at the butt. He put up 22.
He's a nice little player. Fundamentals, Phil. That's what I remembered about. Like he's not gonna jump off the mat as far as combine numbers or have all these great numbers. But what he is he knows how to play the position. Remember Greg Paulus? He played there for kind of like that. Just a guy that he's not going to mess up, but he's going to get you in the right. I mean, he's a point guard.
Well, those kind of players that Duke has always had. I mean, they have the stars, but then they have guys like this, but not any longer because he's going into the portal. Or I guess he's also made himself available to the draft, but I don't think he's signed with an agent. So usually that the declaring for the draft stuff has gotten a little bit out of hand in some cases. I saw Mekhi Mitchell has now declared for the draft, so did Jeremiah Davenport. Declaring is one thing. Being drafted is a whole other thing.
Does Davenport have college eligibility left? Because okay, he's a nice piece. He could. I mean, these kids are good. I think if you play high level basketball, Division I basketball, can score double digit points, I'm pretty sure you can find work. It just won't be in America, but there's plenty of places to go play ball.
See, Roach, 6'2", 180, 14 points a game, 2.5 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and good percentages, 47% from the field,
solid.
43% three, 84% free throw line. And this will be interesting, too, Matt, because another thing that RD put in the column, he quotes from, not quotes, he just cites Adam Zagoria, who's a basketball reporter, says that the Razorbacks are in the running along with St. John's and Kentucky.
He's the Sam Hartman of point guards. I mean, he's a guy that puts up numbers, can play, a college guy. These are the type of players, Phil, that NIL totally benefits. It's a great time to be a college player. Guys that he's a big time college player. Yeah.
So we're all just sort of waiting for the next commit for Cal, who was at the overtime elite yesterday
in his blue blazer, huh? He can't get rid of it. It has a Kentucky feel to it.
I know it does, but really, I mean, does anybody wear a red blazer if it's not at a game?
If you're a Razorback coach, you do. If you're Nick Saban always had his maroon on going out there.
Right.
If that's your team, man, that's your squad. Don't he knows what he's doing too. That's the thing. Don't act like he's not smart. Don't act like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, what do you think that message is?
It doesn't matter to me. Like I don't wear a purple blazer. It doesn't matter. But that's what the first thing you think of is Kentucky. I told you we saw the press conference. They're showing Kentucky first round picks, no Arkansas first round pick.
He's wearing a blue blazer too.
That's what I mean. It's like you got to turn. Bob Seger said, "Turn the page."
Well, he's a guy that wears a blazer at almost anywhere, right? I mean, he's one of the coaches that still wears one during a game. I would just assume because they had for the graphic that was created for when he was hired, it's a red blazer with a Razorback on it. Does it just have to? Maybe they're working on it right now. Maybe it's a custom tailored coat that is currently being hand sewn by a professional tailor, and this will be a one of one. It'll only fit John Calipari, made just for his shoulders and all of his measurements and nobody else. That's why it's happened, Matt. There's a red blazer coming. It's being, I was going to say being manufactured. No, this is a hand operated thing.
Trying to think of the colors. You could get a cream one, an off-white. You kind of have a shade or two of red. Is there another? Would you get a black one? Do you get a? I don't know if you get other colors.
I'm just trying to think. The last time that I actually put a coat on, because I've got a couple of suits. I don't even remember the last time I wore it. Now Matt Jones, on the other hand, you got a decision to make for Monday.
Tuesday,
for Tuesday, we're going to be at the Clinton Library in Little Rock Tuesday. The Razorbacks played Dickie Stevens Tuesday, right over the river. Tell them what you got going on. MC Matt Jones.
It's Little Rock Rangers. We've had their coach on last year during their playoffs, and they got an event going on at the Clinton Library. Yeah, just kind of being able to further the discussion of soccer and the development and get a chance to talk with some people that are passionate about it. And that are local cats and have been doing things for a while. You get in the other team up in Northwest Arkansas that's coming up in 2-4 years. But there's a team in Little Rock that's been here. I think they've been here a decade now. It's been a while,
been that long?
8 years at least, and so they're doing big things, and it's going to be fun. But yeah, I don't know about wearing a blazer. I think
just a coat.
I don't.
Coat on.
It's summertime.
Members only.
Hey, it's 90 degrees in Fort Smith today. It's no more jackets.
Yeah, I didn't make the switch. I made the switch on Sunday for the baseball game to shorts. That was a big moment because it was my first shorts game of the year. I guess I could have put them on today, but I went. Now,
do you tuck shirt into shorts? Okay.
Well, it depends. It depends. If it's just a T-shirt, no. I mean, who's tucking a T-shirt into anything? Unless the T-shirt is the first layer of a polo going over, then the polo, depending on the length, you got to tuck that thing in. Then you got to tuck it in. And if it's just the T-shirt, leave it out. If you got the polo and it's the right length, then you can tuck it. It's the professional look when you're wearing jeans or shorts, sure.
Well, I'm be excited to talk about soccer. I know I talked to you yesterday, Phil, and you were getting ready for the game, and I was like, Barcelona just messed up. They were up 1-0 on PSG, and dude took a red card at the 30th minute, ended up losing 4-1. At that level, because you lose your guy, so it's 11v11. You get a red card, you're out of the game. It's 11v10. I mean, they're too good. They're too good. You give them imagine playing basketball 5-on-4. It doesn't matter if you're up 12 or 23. You're gonna lose.
Can I bring up basketball for a quick moment here? Oh, and I just pulled up ESPN. There is Jonte Porter has been banned for gambling violations. Let me just go and see how long this is going to be. If I type into a search lifetime, it doesn't pop up. I wonder how long this is going to be. He has been banned for gambling. This is the brother of Michael Porter Jr. This was about prop bets. Prop bets in which he started.
The basketball player, yeah.
I don't think it was that he started both games. It's that he didn't. He took himself out of these games, and both times the number. And I don't remember what the number was, but it hit the under, and that was the most heavily bet prop bet on DraftKings for those 2 days where this happened, which set the red flags off, set up all the investigation that goes along with this. Let's see. The league said another individual, an NBA bettor, placed an $80 bet that Porter wouldn't hit the number set for him in parlays through the online sports book, and that bet would have won $1.1 million.
$80,000.
And
not 80.
Porter gave a bettor information about his own health status before Toronto's game on March the 20th.
$80,000 on a prop bet parlay, that might raise a couple flags.
Yeah, for John Tay Porter. I mean,
if it was somebody else, would he be banned for life? You know, I get it, because didn't Calvin Ridley, he was a really good football player, and he did something like this, but he's a first round, he's a dude. You know, like if John Morant, and because he's kind of in.
Well, look at what I don't know. I couldn't put a percentage on it, but how many people out there believe that Shohei Ohtani, that is Ipe Mizuhara is just a fall guy, that he's a fall guy for the most famous player in the sport. There are a lot of people that won't believe whatever evidence was brought to bear to the investigators by Ipe, they feel. Well, of course it's going to be Shohei, because that's the worst possible outcome, and Major League Baseball would never let that happen. John Tay Porter is a nobody. It's a nobody. And he wasn't the one gambling, but he's giving information to bettors. So, I mean, that's a different situation than the deal with Ohtani, because the question with Ohtani is, was he betting on baseball? This is, well, I'm not trying to layer and say one's worse than the other. This is just the sort of stuff that if you're a professional athlete, you can't do. And that was a quick investigation, too. When was this? This was March the 20th?
A month ago,
It was a month ago. A month ago, and sounds like that's the end of, I guess you could call it a bit of a middling NBA career, but it was an NBA career. All right, we better break so they can wrap up the first hour. And the one and only, the Hall of Famer, and now HitThatLine.com columnist Clay Henry will be joining us when we get to the top of the hour. So stay with us. Halftime is back, and we'll wrap up the first hour after this.
This is Halftime.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith, or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yet the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Now is a great time to start your career at Simmons. For a limited time, we're offering up to a $15,000 hiring bonus for maintenance techs, including electricians and refrigeration techs. Simmons offers vacation matching, a 401k plan, and premium health care for team members and their families through our care clinics at no additional cost. Learn more at workatsimmons.com or stop by the Fort Smith Hiring Center at 4900 Rogers Avenue, Suite 103 in Fort Smith. Find out more about the $15,000 hiring bonus and start getting paid sooner with same-day hiring options. We look forward to seeing you.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation, 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas, located at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and 416 North 10th Street in Fort Smith. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at precisiondoornwa.com. Financing is available. Precision Overhead Door voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Precision Overhead Door.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'll let the heater on. And in my dreams, I wrote the best song that I've ever written. I stayed drunk and fell away. I was something playing away. I heard you say you like me. We drifted to a party cool. The people went to art school. They made the dance by mixing acid, wash, and lemonade. My brain, I rearranged the letters on the page to spell your name.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Back here on Halftime, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, the C Unit. Christian Johnston joining us here. They're getting the field ready for a 4 o'clock first pitch. Will be Colin Fisher throwing for Arkansas. I didn't see if Texas Tech announced a starting pitcher. I don't think Tim Tadlock spoke to the media yesterday. Looked like Tech was interested in getting out of the ballpark, getting back to the hotel, going to sleep, and then seeing if they could end up going to sleep. That's the problem. It's going to sleep after a game like that. After a win, hey, pretty good. After a loss like that, yeah, it might keep you up for a while. Might keep you up for just a while. 877-377-6963 when you want to get with us here on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. I feel really good because I'm introducing George Carlin to Chris from Springdale, who I don't remember how we got onto it yesterday, but he asked about Carlin concerts. I told him, well,
Curb Your Enthusiasm last episode. That's how we got on it.
That's how we got onto it. That's right. But George wasn't on that, and I never put him and Larry David together. I don't know if they would have ever been in the same comedy special. But, yeah, Carlin and Carnegie, I told him to listen to Class Clown, which is where he started the 7 words you can't say on television or radio. You can say them on podcast, though, and that works up just well. Ryan in Prairie Grove likes Tech's coach, cracks him up. Is he still hooked on the chapstick? DVH is hooked on the chapstick, too. Maybe he just does it where you can't see it. But he's even told me before, I'm the same way. Matt, I've got 3 different chapsticks. Just like I used to have 3 different or 4 different bottles of Tums. You know, one for the car, one next to the bed, one for the studio, and then one for my backpack. I got the same thing with chapsticks. I think DVH does too.
I know I have at least 2 in my bag. I like that Nueve or Nivea I kind of like that one. Then your regular chapstick, a Carmex, just whatever. You might pick up a Burt's Bees. Kind of.
Well, these are just the things you got to have. Like I literally have, like, look at this. I've got a Blistex. I got a Blistex.
Yep.
One for my pocket, one for the backpack. I also have toothpicks for the car, for the house, for the bag. Yeah, it's too many things. Can't I just keep one of these things with me all day long? Of course not, because inevitably 2 of these sticks end up in the dryer, and then you end up with really shiny clothing. And who wants that? Who wants that? I don't need shiny clothing. What am I, David Bowie over here? That does not need to happen. I need my lips to be nice and supple for a radio broadcast, because you know what it's like when you're trying to do radio.
I even got the throat spray in there. Some type of cough drop, especially in the winter months. But yeah,
right. For the pocket, for the car, for the backpack, for next to the bed. It's just all the places that you know you're going to be at some point. Chris tells me you use more chapstick if you carry it around. That's the whole point. Because if I keep licking my lips eventually are going to crust and fall off. I can't have that. I work in radio. I don't think I'd be able to speak if the lips fell off. That's just basically survival of the fittest for radio broadcasters, I think, is what it comes down to, Chris. That's exactly what it comes down to. The thing that I did stop that I used to carry with me, and Matt knew this well, I was addicted to the Fisherman's Friend lozenges. You can tell. I mean, I got a little frog going on here. The Fisherman's Friend not only gets rid of the frog, but it literally rots your teeth from the inside out. So had to give up on that as well, because what did I want to do? Brush my teeth 8 times a day? I'm not David Bowie, and I'm not Jerry Seinfeld. But I am Phil Elson, and I'll take you into the second hour of halftime, where the one and only Hall of Famer Clay Henry joins me, Matt Jones, in the C Unit. And you, if you want to get on, 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back in a moment.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. Save $90 on the DeWalt 20-volt max trimmer and blower kit. Only $199 with your Ace Rewards card. Triazicide 10-pound granules, ready to spray or concentrate, is $7.99 with Ace Rewards. And buy batteries and chargers and get the tool free on select DeWalt, Milwaukee, and Craftsman power tools. Find us online at JagersHardware.com.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Sportsmith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball, with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision, it's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine across the north. We'll see a little bit more cloud cover further south. Our high in the low to mid 80s. Chance of a few showers or thunderstorms across the north tonight. Overnight lows in the low to mid 60s. And then a better chance of showers and thunderstorms for Thursday. A high in the low to mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, man, take it to the house.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
It is a glorious afternoon in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Earlier in the week, it looked like today may be a washout. Not going to be the case. You do have hazy skies, but it's going to be a nice day for a ball game, about 83 degrees or so, about first pitch, 4 o'clock. And it is great to be with you on Halftime. I'm Phil Elson, my friend Matt Jones. The C Unit, Kristen Johnston, is producing. And let's bring on the one and only, the Hall of Famer, Clay Henry, joining us here, former publisher, editor, Hogs Illustrated, and now, I don't know what, Clay, you're writing at hitthatline.com and doing great work wherever it is you write. Is there a title that goes along with it? Is it columnist, senior columnist? Would that mean, or is it just the one and only Clay Henry?
I think that's it.
That'll work. Do you get a business card?
It was kind of funny. Tommy asked me, I think when I did the stuff with Hogs Illustrated, I kind of coined the phrase "State of the Hogs," and that's that magazine. And I don't think anybody's doing "State of the Hogs," so I could probably take it with me, but I didn't do that. And then I did stuff for Hogs Plus, and they called it "Top of the Hill." Whatever, that wasn't my idea. And Tommy wanted a title. And I was like, you know what? I really don't think I need one. I mean, it's kind of like, when you got Bubba with you, he's just Bubba, right?
There's a brand that goes along with the name. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm okay with it just being Clay.
That works
those
for me.
guys in the afternoon show, I mean, they never say my whole name. They just say Clay. So it's okay.
We can start throwing the middle name in at some point. Will that work, Matt, Clay, or do we need to throw a title?
I like your Hall of Fame Fisherman Clay Henry. I mean, it's simple, direct.
That's
to the
as
point.
good. As far as I'm concerned, that's as good as it gets.
He'd rather be tying flies anyways than talking with us.
He was tying flies
see,
earlier.
Yeah.
No, I multitask. I'm actually painting up some cicadas. They're finished. Their bellies are orange, and I take a Sharpie and I put little stripes on them with the Sharpie. That's what I'm doing right now as I'm talking. So I multitask.
Man, I'm kind of picturing like a young Clay Henry putting together the little sets, with the very small paintbrush, trying to put that thing together and make sure that.
Do you have an eyepiece or a magnifying glass or anything that helps
No.
that? Oh, okay.
No, well, my glasses are, they've got readers in them. I mean, I think they're 1.8, but I see all right. I mean,
Clay, I'm at the point now where I can't do a baseball game without readers.
I just noticed mine.
They're 2 point. Yeah, Matt was telling me yesterday. It's like every day the eyesight gets worse.
It just started. I don't know, 6 months ago. Phil was showing me something on his computer. I was like, I can't even see that.
So my Orvis sunglasses, have built-in readers. They're polarized, and they're 2.5s, And I've seen some 3-point, and I don't need that. But when you're tying, a size 22 fly and you're putting 7X tippet in, you're hitting it in there, you can't do it with the naked eye. And I think I can with my regular sunglasses, which are bifocals. But I'd rather just wear my sunglasses with the 2.5s.
Kind of picturing here a similarity between the smallness of the paintbrush where you're tying flies and the smallness of my father's dental drill when he's working on children because he's a pediatric dentist. Of course, you can't do dentistry with readers. It does help to have, high-powered, something high-powered to get you a little closer in. But, maybe a little bit different.
See, I had for years, I was given as a gift some jeweler's glasses, and they're like these big, they go all the way around your head and, they pop up or pop down. They're on swivels to your side, so you can pop them up out of the way and pop them down. And finally, it's like, man, I just use my regular glasses. I told my eye doctor what I was doing, and she goes, these are going to help you. The 1/8s.
Hey, speaking of eyewear, and this isn't quite eyewear, but I wonder, and I used to walk into the Democrat Gazette newsroom when I worked at the Travs, and I'd go sit with a couple of the writers and just talk about the team and all that kind of stuff, and inevitably there was somebody sitting at one of the tables who had on the visor, the green visor that you would, there was always somebody wearing a green visor in a newsroom, and I just wonder if those are still even a thing anymore. And when did you wear the green visor?
First of all, you go in a newsroom and you look around, it's like, where did all the people go?
There's nobody there. That's right.
You got cubicles that are empty. There's a few people there. And, it's not like they're not, you still have workers, but they just work from home. They have their laptops there, and COVID really did that. They took the design desk, all those people, they work from home because nobody wanted to have people in buildings, and so I think some of those people have come back to working in the office.
I guess the green visor is not. All right, 877-377-6963 is our McClarty Daniel hotline. We'll start off with Charlie today. Good afternoon, Charlie. How you doing?
I'm great. Phil, how you doing, Clay, Matt?
I'm good.
See you in it.
Yo.
Good deal. Phil, they're going to throw the big tuna out today, right? Is that what Dave said last night?
Yes, it will be the big tuna, Colin Fisher, tonight.
Good. I'm excited for the opportunity for him. I know you said yesterday, obviously their home and away numbers are different, but that wind was swirling pretty good yesterday, wasn't it?
Sure was.
I don't remember. Yeah. I guess it fit that. Those guys can swing the bat. I know it's way different. They do way better at home. They're one of those teams, Clay. I think you pointed out Alabama being a team that if they were to get into a regional, they could cause some problems. That to me, they are one of those teams as well. Just because they can swing a hot bat, and especially if they're in a ballpark, that kind of, I guess, for whatever reason, fits what I know they swing it way better at home. I get all that. But, when we got down 6-0, Phil, I got to ask you, because how nervous were you and Bubba? Did you trust that we could make a run there? I
remember sitting there looking at Bubba, Charlie, and I said to him off the air, it's like, this is the first time this has happened this year. This is going to say something about this team.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, and I'm not sitting there like, oh, the game's over. There was 7 innings left after that, and I've seen bigger comebacks. It's just you hadn't seen this team hadn't had to play a game like that. This is the first time where the hitters had to pick up the starting pitcher. That just hadn't happened yet. So I was just impressed with that. Now, there's another thing to look at this here. Okay, I'm talking with Matt Hobbs before the game. And we're like, this is fun. This is great. It's great to have a team like this coming in here. But this sort of game, it's not necessarily a game that you will play ever again later even in the postseason. You're not playing on a Tuesday with a day off before. Bobby's not going to start the day, after a day off when it comes to being in Omaha or being here at Baum Walker or anywhere for a regional or a super regional. Yesterday's game does stand a little differently in the way the game was structured compared to how you'll play postseason, but it does tell me that it is true that it doesn't matter what the score is, that I think the team plays with a quiet confidence, and you could see that building as they, slowly started to come back in the fourth inning, and then with the big fifth inning rally. Then it was all belief. Then it was all right. It's a game now. Now you gotta go do some of those little things because they did the big things. They rallied back in the fifth inning. After that, they make the plays. Texas Tech did not make plays in the ninth inning, 3 of them to be honest, and the Hogs took advantage of it.
Yeah, Phil, it's. I told my wife when we were watching it, we absolutely love to sit together and watch, and we multitask. We've got like a little TV tray, and we're doing stuff. She's got art projects that she does, and I'm doing tying flies and this, and having a nice conversation. And the dogs are, right at our feet, our chocolate and yellow lab. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just, it's a wonderful spot in life we're in. And to watch the game, and she goes, "Oh, this isn't good." And I agreed with her, it's not good. But I said, the one thing that I'll tell you is that it's a midweek game, and Texas Tech's, they're going to throw they'll probably throw their high leverage guy at the end, and you want to be even when you get that guy, and they were. So that, they climb back against some of their pitchers that, they're not, they're not SEC quality. This is anything you say about the Big 12 this year, you look around, they're nowhere to be seen in the RPI. So that you can score on these guys, and they'll probably score some runs. This is a midweek, and you're not going to have, your top 4 or 5 guys out there much.
Well, I want to translate this into another couple sports here. Think of like Virginia basketball, okay? Virginia basketball is really good at defending the same way that Arkansas is really good at limiting teams from scoring runs. I know it's a different sport, and sometimes it doesn't translate, but in this case I think it can. Virginia's not going to win a game that gets into the 80s very much or the 90s ever.
Yeah.
They just won't. Think of Iowa football, how good they are at limiting the opponent from scoring, and they win games 13-10, and they're happy with that. Iowa's not going to win a game that gets into the 30s. They just won't. They'll never win a game that gets into the 40s. So this Arkansas baseball team this year, routinely winning games when they score 5 runs. That's the magic number, 5 runs. That's really not a lot in college baseball. What they just showed me is that if it was basketball, they could win a game in the 80s or 90s. If it was football, they could win a game with both teams scoring over 35 or into 40 points. That's what a 9-8 baseball game is, and we hadn't seen it yet. And not only can they win a game, like in football, if it's into the 40s, they can come back when they're down 3 touchdowns. That's what that was.
Yeah, I thought a big hit in the game, and I'm looking around at this team. Where are they getting their offense? Well, it's not at the places that you would usually think. They're getting it from the infield. Especially shortstop. I mean, that's not an offensive position on most teams. Second base is sometimes it is, but those 2 guys got to defend. They got to turn double plays, and these guys can do all that. But they have not gotten offense from their corner outfielders, and they haven't got any offense from their catcher. And I thought it was interesting. Hudson White, he struggled early, but when the game was on the line, man, he had a big hit. And to do it against his old team, and they tried to run on him and everything, and they did. But I thought that was a huge hit. Confidence. They may have found something with him because he really hit last year at Texas Tech, didn't he, Phil?
He did, and I've started to wonder about the numbers for Hudson from last year, just because look, the splits, the home road splits for Texas Tech baseball are ridiculous. I mean, they had 100 points lower on the road. Their slugging is like 200 points lower on the road.
Wind blows out there, yeah.
Yeah, so I look at that as kind of how I think people look at Coors Field. You got to take the numbers with a bit of a grain of salt. And I don't know if I had taken that into account just looking at Hudson's numbers, But to me, he's not. I mean, he had 11 home runs with Texas Tech last year. He's not going to. He won't get to double digits. I don't think he's that kind of hitter. But he is a down the third base line hitter where that double went yesterday, and he's an opposite field gap hitter into right center. That's where he's strong. But yeah, I don't trust the stats out of Texas Tech. I think that's a good hitting team, but you know that's a team that so they score 8 runs yesterday against Arkansas and lose. That's a team that in a midweek game, those 8 runs are something like 16 when it's at home. So it's just a lot different for him. We've got a break because we're right up against it. I want to tell you about something new going on at WT Equipment. Right now, you get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even the large commercial-grade hay equipment. You buy now, save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back, or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. So upgrade for weekend chores. Might need consistent strength, efficiency for your daily grind. They've got all the machines that you need and the deals you want. Offers end June 30th at WT Equipment, your partner in progress. Calls and text on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is halftime.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a GMC Sierra Crew Cab at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Choose from 2.7 or 5.3 liter Sierra Crew Cabs this month and get 2.9% for 72. Or get up to $6,500 in factory rebates on select 2024 GMC Sierra trucks. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $425 off of your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Regardless of one's age, there's a living heritage, experiences, and memories to share. Show how much you care by remembering elderly family members, friends, or neighbors by helping with chores, shopping, or a simple visit. Learn about life from the most experienced people in the world and make a difference in their everyday lives. This message is courtesy of our good friends at Paris Health and Rehab, 1414 South Elm Street in Paris, Arkansas. Contact Administrator Sarah for a tour today. She and her staff care about our seniors.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
The adventure starts at Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
We all know those tackle places we find along streams and rivers that we just have to stop in and check out their lures. Kind of off the beaten path and probably a little rustic. Well, we have that same kind of place right here in the heart of Fort Smith. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been serving up all the supplies and equipment you could ever think of and more. The Tackle Box, 3010 Street, Fort Smith.
The adventure starts at Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
You just ordered Mexican food and you're thinking we need everything to make margaritas. Well, no worries. Uber Eats and DoorDash is now available at Four Corks Wine and Spirits. It's fast and convenient to get all your beer, wine, and spirits by calling Uber Eats or DoorDash. Four Corks Wine and Spirits has a wide selection of bourbons, whiskey, craft beers, and the coldest imports in town. Stop in the climate-controlled wine cellar for the perfect selection of fine wines, too. Uber Eats and DoorDash now available at Four Corks Wine and Spirits, just past the intersection of Mazard and Zero Street toward Ben Garing Park.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Maybe someday I'll be strong. Maybe it won't be long. I'll be the one who's tough. You'll be the one who's got it rough. It won't be long, and maybe I'll be real strong. Maybe I do things right. Maybe I'll start tonight. You'll learn to cry like me. Baby, let's just wait and see. Maybe I'll start tonight and do things right. You control me, you're so holy, rule me time free. So the pain that shakes me, finally makes me get up off my
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt just got a look at my readers here and gave me a nickname that I don't know if I'm going to keep this nickname, but I think you were right though.
It's a good look. It's you know, you're telling children's stories, bedtime stories. I mean, it all fits the part, man. You got it going on.
The professor.
Am I Mother Goose or am I doing Andrew Dice Clay Mother Goose rhymes?
Yeah, you're sitting there and you're just whispering sweet nothings into the ears of all of Arkansas, and it's just like reading a bedtime storybook, Phil.
Maybe I'll really try to do that one thing somebody told me they'd like me to do at some point, read the yellow pages, but it's it's a much thinner, it's more of a pamphlet now than a book. You used to be able to sit on that when you were a kid and be able to make it to the top of the dinner table. Now you need, heck, the issue of Sports Illustrated will probably get you a little closer to the table than the yellow pages.
Yeah, there's not any of that, though.
That's true. Then there's that. Then there is no more Sports Illustrated. Just give me I know it'll work. An Arkansas athletics media guide of any of them. Football, baseball, basketball, the thick ones. Those are thicker than the yellow pages are these days.
Hey, depending on how tall you are, you just stack the Hogs Illustrated.
I'm 5'8.5". I'm shrinking every day. I'm going to get down to 5'8" probably by the end of the year. So how many Hogs Illustrateds do I need in order to see outside of?
Well, there's 20 in a year.
Yeah, maybe 1 year's worth to do it for me. I think that would work. A couple callers on hold. You want to get with us? Number is 877-377-6963. That's a McClarty Daniel hotline. First up is going to be Will, who's in Columbia. All right, now, Will, I know of two Columbias in the SEC. We're headed to one on Thursday in South Carolina. The other one is a little farther north than us here in Fayetteville. Which one are you in?
I'm in the one you're headed to. I'll see you on Friday.
Man, I love Columbia, South Carolina. That's one of the more fun towns in the SEC.
It's a lot of fun. If you get time on Thursday night, you should go to Hall's or Hall's Steakhouse in downtown or back streets on Devine Street. Both are pretty good. Hall's is a little bit better, I think. Get you a good steak if you're staying near there. But, yeah, no, there are two things I want to say. How do you feel about this weekend? Because I think it's a winnable series, a very winnable series, but that's a tough place to play. And then second, I like how good this team is, but I don't know if I like it as much as how much I like Texas and LSU both being just awful this year.
Wait, repeat that last part of what you like about them, but not so, but there was a but.
I like this team good,
Texas,
but
and
what I like even more is that LSU and Texas are just horrible. And so it just feels like that coupled with how good we are. I don't know. Last night was just so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. I don't think Texas Tech is a bad team at all. I mean, Texas is struggling. Clay, by the way, Texas yesterday got blown out by UTRGV. I don't know the last time that a school like Texas has lost to a school with a 5-letter anagram to describe them.
I don't know what that is.
Rio Grande Valley. Texas, Rio Grande Valley. It's in, I think it's Harlingen.
That does my heart good when Texas sucks.
Especially to a school that's within their own system. You got to appreciate that. I think Texas Tech is not a bad team. The weekends mean more than the midweek, I think. And look, I mean, I think that's a team that could very well make a. They're 9-9 in the Big 12.
Oh, they'll make a regional.
Yeah, that's a team you could face in a regional in Fayetteville, no doubt. So them coming here this time around, maybe it's the first of a couple times that they make the trip here. As far as the weekend with South Carolina, there's no reason to feel any differently about this weekend than any of the previous ones. Now, I wouldn't say that this is the toughest team that's left on the schedule because, man, you do have some doozies coming up. You got you're going to Kentucky. You're going to A&M. You've got Mississippi State coming in here. Mississippi State has certainly had some good wins this year. South Carolina, 18-4 at Founders Park. And I think that's what the record was for Alabama when we got out there. So, yeah, it's a tough place to play too. That is up until Tennessee had really kind of made their move of late. And I love Founders Park. I think it's the nicest ballpark in that division. But they're also probably the most heavily supported team in the East Division, so they'll get some crowds. That's where the Oompa Loompa thing started with Robert Moore a couple years ago, and he quieted that student section pretty quickly.
And they love their baseball there, and they've won national championships, and Ray Tanner was there and was the coach, and they've been up and down. But, yeah, I mean, it's a place that it's a carbon copy of Baum. They designed it after Baum, so it'll have some familiarity, except they did the no-no. They didn't use green seats. Baseball parks should have green seats.
They have garnet-colored seats, you're right.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same thing at LSU. The yellow I mean, it just looks like they ran out of money and they went down to the plastic store. Both parks, in my opinion.
Yeah, they also have a bullpen named after a player, Michael Roth. Remember, Michael was he was their World Series hero, and we had him with the Travs for a couple of years. I liked Michael; he's a good guy. Will, thanks for the call and thanks for the suggestions. Steak and drink sound really good Thursday night in Columbia. Appreciate that. Eduardo, the Sherpa, is next. Eddie, I think your head might have exploded last night with Arkansas's comeback win, so you probably never went to sleep. How you feeling today?
Man, it's still running through my body. What a game.
Oh, boy.
Let me tell you this. I believe this, gentlemen. There are defining moments, no more than your co-host said next to you, that, you either seize a moment or you don't. And I don't know what was said in the dugout, but suddenly our bats had went colder than an icicle, And so suddenly, like a lightning bolt, they hit it up like a curling iron. And I mean, I believe this is going to define our season and go on. We're going to have a great season. And we're going to roll in now to South Carolina. If we take care of business tonight, which I expect we will, and roll in with a head of steam and face the Gamecocks and hopefully win the series. I mean, life's tough in the SEC. I mean, is there a better baseball program in America than the SEC? I don't think so. What a tough conference. I mean, it's just tough from top to bottom. Anybody can beat you on any given day if you don't bring your A game. I'm just so happy. It's still running through my body. And I mean, I had to ask Pat Jones one more time. I was down in Little Rock. They call it, the miracle on Market. Time running down. I don't know what was said in the huddle. I closed my eyes when he let the ball loose. And suddenly, woo! We're celebrating a big win over the Beagles of Baton Rouge. And I never have. I mean, what was said, man? I've asked you this before, but I mean,
hold on, Eduardo. Hold on. Now you've done the question asking. Now you've got to stop talking, and then Matt gets to answer. That we've practiced this before. We'll try it again. Matt, your turn.
Triple post X drag, ready break.
All right, Eddie, your turn.
Well, sir, I tell you this. You know, I never will forget it. You know, time running down. And, you know, Matt, you as a quarterback representing the U of A, not only you had several defining moments as a quarterback at the U of A, and I don't know what was said in the huddle or on the sidelines, but I mean, what's it feel like?
He just told you.
Electricity runs through your body when you make the play.
He just told you. He just told you what was said in there. Now you know it was said. One more time so that he can write it down and remember
That was we had ran that play a couple different times, but Coach Nutt, we'd put that play in that year, triple post X drag, and it was a play to get George the ball and let him run up field. And DeCorey just OMG, you know, just made a heck of a play.
Eduardo, we're about at the end of the segment here, but I just want to you don't have to answer this question, but did you have a little something extra on the cornflakes today? Like you got way more energy than I would have expected for somebody that never went to sleep and had his head pop off after Arkansas beat Texas Tech. You are clear, you are concise. You've delivered a very good Ric Flair woo. I mean, I'm putting this up into the top 5 phone calls, Eddie.
Well, so I say this, you know, just because we didn't win a series in Alabama, I've heard fans, say, jumping off the baseball home train. I said, jump back aboard. There's a long season left to play, and just because we're not number one now, don't mean we won't be at the end of the year. And I'm starting to feel a national championship run. So, whoa, how about that? Stay aboard the hog train, because I believe we're going to roll in. How important is steam? How important is confidence to roll in? We win tonight into South Carolina and take care of business against the Gamecocks.
Eduardo, you're the best, man. Always appreciate you. Thank you for listening to our show. And that's Eduardo the Sherpa in Clarksville. You guys think he could literally do like 3-hour stream of consciousness? I'm not advocating for Eddie to get his own show yet, because it helps when someone else starts to talk. But I do feel like he could do 3 hours stream of consciousness. It'd be pretty interesting.
Don't you think that was just a rhetorical question he didn't really want to answer?
I think all of his questions are rhetorical in that case. I've had to practice conversations with him, although I know he's had real ones before.
I tried years and years ago, and he never stopped.
Mm-hmm. Stream of consciousness. That's the thing. I mean, when you text and you don't include any punctuation, and it's the same way that you speak. Well, if there's no punctuation when you speak, then there's no room for the question mark to be dropped in.
Well, Eddie's in all caps.
It's a whole other category that it's not on any QWERTY.
You've seen his text,
anywhere.
Haven't you?
Oh my God, I live with his texts. Yeah. Absolutely, texts from Eddie are a thing for me. Eduardo, thank you for listening to our show as always.
So you can't help it, but when you get one, you got to send it to somebody else. It's just like, it's like when you got a big old bowl of ice cream, and you said, "Man, you gotta try some of this. This is so good."
That's exactly right. Hey, we're right up against a break. Want to remind you about Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the dealership that's been serving you for over 70 years for the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, right beside the Cracker Barrel. They'll help you find the best RV for your adventures. Got the service and parts department on site and everything you need in between at Crabtree RV. Go to crabtreerv.com for more information. Stay with us. We're right back for more halftime after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app and...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car,
Where'd you go? Your mind, where did it go? Where did it go? Any minute ago. And I still want you back. Kilimanjaro, so ready to flow and just money. Right across while the river flow, burning volcano. 19 million years before, where'd you go, Grego? Where'd you go?
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Got the one and only Clay Henry with us as well, columnist extraordinaire for hitthatline.com. Does that work too? That'll fit on a Clay. That would fit on a business card if it's okay. I mean, I'm okay with just Clay Henry on hitthatline.com. I'm just trying to flower things up a little bit.
I don't mind. He doesn't, I don't care. I mean, that's for somebody else to figure out. I'm just not going to spend any time with it. But I get it. There's, you're supposed to have a title. You're supposed to have, I can remember I was in journalism for just about 2 weeks at UCA. Then I realized that I'd already worked 5 years at the Arkansas Gazette, switched to English. But the editor of the paper said that my column should be Clay's Corner.
They like alliteration.
I didn't go for it. But it appeared Clay's Corner one time, and I was like, no. And then that was the last one I wrote for him because I didn't really need to be in a journalism class where the journalism teacher had never worked in the newspaper, and I'd worked there 5 years at age 21.
Well, it says Clay Henry on HTL at the top of our hitthatline.com page. And right now you can read about how John Calipari made it to the head coaching position at Arkansas. We'll get into
some
that
of the backstories. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really good stuff, too, that I don't think anybody else was able to find. Brent in Searcy on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hey, good afternoon, Brent. What's up?
Good afternoon. Clay and Phil and Matt.
You got them all.
Hey, Clay.
Yes, sir.
You know who this is, right?
Yeah, Brent.
You know
yes.
Hey,
Bender.
I'm like Clay. I'm known by one name, Brent. Everybody knows me, either good or bad. You know what I'm saying? I have a question for you, Clay. Where did you say I can find your article on about Calipari coming to Arkansas? Because I looked on the
hitthatline.com. Hitthatline.com.
Okay, I can't get
that's the ESPN Arkansas's website. Yeah,
on my mobile app, right? I can't get it on my mobile.
Well, it's free.
App,
yeah,
right?
if you just go on your phone, hitthatline.com, you'll be able to see. There's 3 columns that I've written there, and I probably write another one this week. My goal is 1 a week, but I wrote 3 in 1 week, so I kind of got. I think I got a little grace there. I'm okay.
Clay, don't. If my dad was living, he'd tell you, Clay, don't overdo it. You know what I'm talking about?
I try not to. I've got a wife of 47 years. She keeps saying don't overdo it.
Now, Phil, who all pitched last night? I lost track. Ben Bybee, right?
It's 6 pitchers. Bybee started. Christian Fouch, Gage Wood, Parker Coyle, Will McIntyre, Gabe Gackle. Wood threw the longest, 2 1/3. Gackle got the win. Coyle looked as good as he's looked at any point. Good to get an inning out of him, and Gabe pitched 1 2/3. Yeah, 6 pitchers, which kind of is. I mean, we've had plenty of Tuesday games that have been 5 to 6 pitchers. It's just they would have let Ben Bybee go as long as he could. Dave said he wanted 5 innings, would have loved 5 innings, and ended up he allowed 5 straight hits, and they took him out in the second.
That's hard against him, other than the home run.
Yeah,
I mean,
even the home run wasn't like hit as hard as you would expect a home run to be hit. It just, I think it got up into the one spot in the wind that it might actually kind of be blown out a little bit. Same with McLaughlin's, although I think Ben's was hit deeper and farther and harder.
How was McIntyre good last night? I mean, I thought he was okay. I
don't think he was bad.
He'll be fine for the weekend.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. They wanted him to pitch yesterday in order to have him ready for the weekend. I think Will's one of those pitchers. They say that he is stronger if he continues to pitch and works, a couple, maybe 3 times in a week. Now, I do wonder because, Mac got hit a little bit at Alabama, and that's the first weekend where really hasn't been dominant in any of his outings. So, I mean, it is that point of the year. I'm not saying that he's breaking down or that he's losing his stuff, but it is the time of the year that you can see a little bit of a lull for a pitcher who's been dominant. The trick is, just getting it back. And for McIntyre, what I think I'm seeing is that they know the cutter is coming, and they're kind of sitting on it, which means that you can get him out even if they're waiting for that pitch, but he might have to mix things up a little bit more. He's been so hard and heavy on the cutter, he might have to rely on just a couple of other pitches here and there to get the opposing hitters off the cutter. All right, I think Brent left. So let's go to Brennan in Fort Smith, who's next on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Brennan. What's going on?
Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Great, thank you.
I got a question for you, Phil. I'm actually on my way to Conway, America, to call Division III baseball at Hendricks.
Oh,
and
cool.
I thought Valentine last night behind the plate, and the other time that we've had him this year is by far the best SEC umpire we have had. I was wondering if you agreed with that, Phil.
Wait, which umpire is this?
The one that was behind the plate last night.
Oh, for the Arkansas game. I thought that was
for the Arkansas
Javero January is his name. I think he did well. He wouldn't give the top of the zone a few times. Look, I mean, I'm not an umpire evaluator. I just go by what TrackMan says. To me, it looked like he missed, maybe a little less than some umpires do. I think he usually calls a good game. We've had him behind the plate quite a few times. Well, I guess
I hesitate to say too much about strike zones when you really need to be careful in your judgment watching on TV because the camera's offset. And not many people know that, but the camera is off to the side of the batting eye. They don't want it in the batting eye because that's the purpose of having the batting eye, to have it clean, right, Phil?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Don't want any distractions in the batting eye for the hitters. But
pretty much.
So you're gonna get a little distorted view on that center field camera because, like I say, it's offset just a little. But I thought he was pretty good.
I thought he was good too.
He didn't hurt either team.
B wants to wonder, and I never know, as I see just a little start of his text, I never know if he's being serious or not. Should we start to worry about our pitchers hitting batters? No, I don't think so. What they're trying to do is pitch inside. I'd be more nervous if they weren't trying to pitch inside. But you have to, especially against some of these teams. Because they crowd the plate.
I saw some of them. Their arms are in the strike zone.
All right, Brennan tried to call back here. Brennan, you're back here. What's going on? Try again.
All righty. All right, Clay, I got one for you, football related. It seemed like, obviously, it's obvious is we struggled last year on the offensive line. But it seems like watching the spring game and reading stuff that I've seen that we're running more zone, which I don't feel like we did a lot of, and apparently Coach Pittman also said we're running more pin and pull. With that being said, Clay, do you think you see a significant difference in our scheme, or do you believe the scheme is the same? And I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you said is true. Getting into the specifics, I think we'd lose about 90% of the people. What I do see is that there's the tackles are physically more gifted. And when I say that, they have great feet, and they also at 325 to 330. And that combination is going to help your protection. And I don't care what you're doing, man, zone, pin and pull, double teams. Those guys got to be gifted. And it's a unique position. There are very few humans that can be an SEC offensive tackle. I mean, they're just a big man with great feet. It just doesn't exist in numbers. It's the same thing about recruiting 7-footers in basketball that have the ability to jump, run, move their feet, catch the ball. Bayfall, was gifted in some ways. He couldn't catch the ball. He was unusable. Now that may change through the years, but the practice that I watched, most of them is like, "Are you going to catch the lob?" They practiced it with him. But I mean, back to offensive tackle, there's just few of those humans like that. Big, quick, 330 pounders with great feet, and these two guys, they have that. And I really like Fernando Carmona. I mean, it's I think he might be the best left tackle they've had in a number of years. I wrote about Richard Lafargue, and we talked about the offensive line that he was a part of, in the late 70s. with R.C. Tillman, Greg Cook, let's see, Gerald Skinner, Russ Tribble, Leotis Harris. That's 6, but they played 2 guys in 75 at guard, Tribble and Harris. Harris was a younger player. Those guys were gifted. All of them except for Tribble, had a chance to play in the NFL. All 5 starters at one time played in the NFL. Well, guess why that offense was good?
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Hey, Clay, we got to hit a break right up against it here. We want to get on. The McLarty Daniel hotline remains open, 877-377-6963. Back to wrap up the second hour in just a moment.
This is halftime. Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas, located at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and 416 North 10th Street in Fort Smith. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at precisiondoornwa.com. Financing is available. Precision Overhead Door voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Precision Overhead Door.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Greenwood Collision has been a part of Greenwood since the opening in 2007. Now they invite you into their new state-of-the-art facility. They offer customers a lifetime warranty and work diligently with all insurance companies to better serve their customers. Greenwood Collision has a color matching system, guaranteed an exact color match each and every time. Stop the worrying. Call Chris or Joe today at 996-9922. Greenwood Collision, 2615 West Center in Greenwood.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Been too long
Sunday night, the sky it opened, I saw the light. There was a window from where to see. We all sat waiting patiently.
Into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Back on halftime with you as we wrap up hour number 2 with the one and only Clay Henry. And I got to apologize because I hadn't gotten you and Matt together here yet to talk about your experience seeing Messi on Saturday at Arrowhead Stadium, which sounded like it was quite the experience and quite the event.
Well, first of all, it was a great time with Sarah, our daughter lives in Rogers. She bought these tickets months and months ago, before we knew, when the spring game was going to be, before we knew when the celebration of life for Dean Weber and Larry Bechtel, both close friends of mine. But we went and we had a great time. We also swung by and, to the kennel where we got our Labrador puppy from and spent some time there. She's checking out dogs. Baldwin City, Kansas, which is kind of towards Lawrence a little bit. But the game was it was out of sight, 72,000. There were a few seats open, and some of the really expensive club seats weren't sold. I don't know what they went for, but I imagine they were quite expensive. Yeah. 72,000, I think, is the fourth largest ever MLS game. And Messi showed out. He was terrific. I was sending notes to Matt. Matt's sending notes to me. Galactico, right, Matt?
He's the best that I've ever seen do it, Clay.
Well, 72,000 people went to see him.
A goal and assist.
Do they call him Andy-footed?
Yeah.
Does. I know his left foot is just whatever it wants to be, but he's got a right foot as well.
Probably has a third foot. You just don't know about it. He's able to hide it. That's some ninja stuff. Hour number 3 of halftime approaching. Calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. We have our national senior columnist Clay Henry with us as well, and we'll be back right after this.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kimco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports. Keep the good times rolling.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. Save $90 on the DeWalt 20-volt max trimmer and blower kit. Only $199 with your Ace Rewards card. Triazicide 10-pound granules, ready to spray or concentrate is $7.99 with Ace Rewards. And buy batteries and chargers and get the tool free on select DeWalt, Milwaukee, and Craftsman power tools. Find us online at JaegersHardware.com.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. So sign up now for Pascal's Planned Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine across the north. We'll see a little bit more cloud cover further south. Our high in the low to mid 80s. Chance of a few showers or thunderstorms across the north tonight. Overnight lows in the low to mid 60s. And then a better chance of showers and thunderstorms for Thursday. A high in the low to mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that we respect it.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones may take it to the house. The dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field out.
Caller text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back to Halftime, hour number 3 on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson with my friend Matt Jones. The C Unit, Christian Johnston, is producing, and we have our very good friend, the Hall of Famer, and the one and only Clay Henry with us for this last hour of Halftime. No other guests, so we're open for you on the McClarty Daniel hotline if you want to get on. 877-377-6963. 4 calls and 4 texts. Taking a look on the headlines for ESPN. Looks like Caitlin Clark has been introduced in Indianapolis. There's a photo of her holding up the Fever jersey. And I think, wasn't Christy Smith drafted by the Indiana Fever when she came out of Arkansas all those years ago? Former Arkansas assistant coach, was a head coach at Incarnate Word. And now, I don't know where Christy's coaching now, but I know she's an assistant somewhere. I remember she played for the Fever. Pretty sure that's the team she was drafted by. I don't know if she would have got
that sounds right.
I don't know if she got the hero's welcome, though, that Caitlin Clark got, because
who would?
That's right. That's a little different because she's not she's playing.
You're talking about the Messi of women's basketball.
Well, she's playing for the team, but she's also playing for the league. You know what I mean? And this is the chance for the WNBA to grow and become more, would the right word be mainstream? I mean, it is a mainstream sport. It is a major league sport. It just, there's just not a ton of eyes on it. Somebody like Caitlin Clark can bring it a little more into the forefront of people's minds.
It's not any different than what Sarah and I just did last weekend. There's going to be, when she comes to town, there's going to be another 1,000 tickets purchased. And, it's like, it's like, well, I want to see her. And I wouldn't want to see her. I mean, I mean, why did I tune in all year to Iowa basketball? It wasn't to watch Iowa basketball. It was to watch her. I mean, every time that I could get them, and I've got the Big Ten Network on my package, and that's the way it's going to be. And Dawn Staley said she lifted up our game. And they know it's South Carolina that a lot more people watch them win the championship that got a really good dose of South Carolina basketball because of Caitlin Clark.
This is kind of why, and this has to translate to what you're talking about here. Now, we know this was the case because we were looking at some of the ticket prices for when Iowa went to play at Ohio State. You realize that the smallest crowd that they played in outside of wherever it was that Iowa went for Thanksgiving was 7,039. That was at Northwestern. That's only because that's how much that building holds. Other than that, they played in front of sold-out crowds everywhere. At home, on the road, at Maryland, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana, sellouts.
They weren't like walk-up crowds either. Those tickets were gone. As soon as people look at the schedule, it's like, okay, I'm going to buy that one.
Who's been Matt? Let me ask you. Who? Now I know Messi would be an answer here. Maybe Mbappe would be an answer here. Who is it that you would have gone to see? Not because you love the sport, not because you have a rooting interest in the team, but you have to watch that athlete do his or her thing.
Well, 10 years ago, it was Rajon Rondo. I was amazed at the way he went about point guard. He's the reason Boston Celtics were able to win that title. I know you got Kevin Durant, and you get Paul Pierce, you get Ray Allen, you got some players. But Rondo elevated his game. He was getting triple doubles in playoff games, and he was a total pass first guard. But the way that he played, man, I was enamored with. I loved watching him play. I had to buy a ticket to go watch him play when he came through Oklahoma City. In the game before that, he threw the ball at the ref and didn't even play in the game. But that was when they had Westbrook and Harden and Durant. So there was still a lot of talent out there.
So you could have just wanted to watch him sit on the bench then and be like, well, I wonder what this guy's like when he's not playing. Not as interesting, huh? No.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that question a little bit differently. So through the years, Arkansas football, and my dad and I had this conversation one time. We were driving, I picked him up in Malvern, and we were going to Tuscaloosa for an Arkansas-Alabama game. We're just rolling along, and I was like, Dad, who are your favorite players? And he says, well, I love quarterbacks. I got to know quarterbacks. Matt, you didn't get a chance to know my dad. But he would spend lots of time interviewing quarterbacks. But he said the guy that he would have paid, he didn't have to pay for his ticket ever, for any kind of sporting event, obviously. None of us do that are in the media. We don't have to pay for the tickets that we're covering, which, that's unbelievable. I mean, we're lucky. That's what we do. But he said he would have paid to watch Lance Allworth and Clyde Scott, and the guys that I would put in that category through the years: Quinn Grovey, Matt Jones, Darren McFadden. Those guys I did not get to see. I was too young to remember seeing Wayne Harris, the thumper, play linebacker. But as much as I like linebacker play, that guy would have, he would have mesmerized me.
I got to go see Kobe Bryant play in an NBA Finals.
Yep,
it was the time they actually lost to the Celtics, Clay, and then Clayton Kershaw about 7-8 years ago. When I got to go see, I wanted to go see him pitch, and it was worth it. I mean, he was just he was so good.
Is a guy I got to cover in college because I was covering University of Tulsa basketball, and they're in the Missouri Valley. So I think I saw him play 3 times, and then I saw him, in regular season. Then I saw him play, kind of hook up with Sidney Moncrief in the game Arkansas lost on a last-second shot, in the Elite Eight, when the year that Magic and their guys won. But I think Bird was perfect illustration of the same type. I'd be interested to see where Iowa basketball women's, if they take a dip with a lot of the same players back, because Indiana State with Larry Bird, they had all 4 starters, top 2 reserves back the next year, and they had a losing record.
We get text in here. Chris in Springdale says Shaquille O'Neal, Drew and Harrison, Prime Johnny Manziel. Seth and Rogers says Albert Pujols. But I think this is a little
some of
different.
Those might be, but
I think this is a little different from those players, because I'm assuming that all of you texting in with these athletes' names were already fans of that sport. So I would have. I remember trying to plan out when I was going to see a Red Sox Braves game in Boston, and I think it was 98 or 99, that I would really love if I could watch Pedro Martinez pitch. Got a chance to watch him pitch. He struck out 17 Braves, but I was already a huge fan of the sport. So I'd have gone to see whomever was pitching that day because I want to watch a baseball game. Mario Lemieux had this effect on me as a kid growing up. Maybe it's because I was a kid, but he was the reason to go watch the Penguins, and then you became a Penguins fan and a hockey fan from that point. You know, the Penguins stunk up until the point where Mario was drafted, and they really weren't any good for his first 2-3 years, but you still wanted to go watch him because of the headlines you read about and really how good he was and the highlights and everything. And that was kind of the same idea as what I feel like what this is. Like, these are probably basketball fans that will want to watch Caitlin Clark, but not necessarily like fans of the WNBA. And that's what Mario did to me, and I think to a lot of people, at least where I grew up, is that he was the door that you opened to become a fan of that team. And I think Tiger Woods was the same way with golf. Christian Johnson just texted me, and I think he's right about this.
Yeah,
Tiger Woods, he introduced golf to a lot of people, even from my generation.
You know, you go back, and this is me talking about, you know, I'm born in 1954, and I'm a golfer. You know, I'm aware of golf in the early 60s, and Arnold Palmer was like that. And if you talk to club pros that are of that era, you know, say in the 70s and 80s, when I'm talking about, hey, they've got a nice business, you know, they're at a nice club, and they're like, none of this happened. None of this was possible until, you know, Arnold Palmer. And it also coincided with the arrival of TV coverage, because there'd never been any TV coverage of golf. But if the golfers of the 70s, 80s on the tour, he was the king. And then Tiger Woods, you know, he did it again. Jack Nicklaus didn't do that either, but he, you know, Jack won a lot of tournaments, but he wasn't Palmer and he wasn't Tiger Woods. It's something completely different. He was almost the villain because he was, you know, he was beating Arnie. But yeah, those are, Wayne Gretzky is another one.
Well, the more I think about Caitlin Clark, and it's the same way I view Tiger Woods now, and C-Unit, that's a brilliant comparison. It really is. That athlete is the lens that you see the sport through. It's like everything that, you know, you'll watch other teams, other athletes, and other players, and all of that, but this is the person that introduces you to the sport, so that becomes the lens you see the sport through. And Casey in Ozark texts in too, Michael Jordan, you know, the Bird Magic rivalry certainly brought a lot of fans back to the NBA or to the NBA, but Michael, I think, kind of took that and really made it worldwide because of the Dream Team. And I know they were on that team too, but I think you're right. Michael kind of went a little bit farther with that. Michael Phelps, people texting in Michael Phelps, didn't care about swimming until him. It's generational athletes that are forever not just associated with their sport, but associated in a way.
What about Tony Hawk?
Yes, I think you're right. Now, I don't know
Gary Lou
anything.
Retton.
I don't know anything about skating, but I know who Tony Hawk is.
Mm-hmm. That got me into skate when I was a child. Yeah, when you're a youth.
The first person you think of when you think of the sport. That's what Caitlin Clark has become. Yeah. You know, you don't have that in men's basketball right now, do you? Who's the first person you think of in men's basketball? Even if you think in NBA, who's the top of your mind right now?
Well, it's got to be LeBron.
Still, right?
Steph and LeBron, I think, but they're on their way out. Both those guys, you got to understand, that's like Drew Brees and Peyton Manning's last year is what you're watching. Luka. Those guys are. Yeah, Luka and Giannis, that's the new wave. Wemby, it's so much of a European flair now, Phil. When you think American basketball, Euros are what come to mind.
Mary Lou Retton was that too. There was a gymnastics craze in the 80s. Heck, one of the worst movies ever made in the 80s, American Anthem. wouldn't have been made without her popularity, and that movie was seen by a lot of people, and they were ready to, throw up when they were done watching it.
The Joker, you took the €5 right now against the best 5 Americans. We can get into this too, as far as with the Olympic team. I don't know if they're young enough. You kind of you see some of these teams get a little long in the tooth. You got to have some youth that can go. I mean, you got Jimmy Butler, Jalen Brunson, De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Maxey, Dame Lillard. I mean, those are some guys that just don't even look like they were thought of.
Oh, is the roster all set? I mean,
they're set. The 12, Kawhi Leonard. Right? Kawhi Leonard became the 12. We talked about that. Who was going to be the 12th? I thought they would go with a point guard, but Kawhi Leonard was the 12th jersey. Yeah.
All right, we got a break. 877-377-6963 when you want to get with us on halftime. That's a McClarty Daniel hotline. Great specials this month at Fish City Grill in Rogers. They got beer battered cod tacos on specials. It's fried in their house-made beer batter. Comes with slaw, Fresno chili tartar, pickled jalapenos, cilantro, and sweet potato fries. You can ask about the miso glazed salmon, Chilean salmon marinated in Asian miso glazed sauce. Comes with sugar snap peas, slaw, and lemon basil rice. That's at Fish City Grill, 479-636-8833. If you want to call for curbside pickup or delivery, you can give them a visit on South Bellevue Road in Rogers and fishcitygrill.com. Stay with Halftime. We'll be right back.
This is Halftime.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on, skied in the left.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
And they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Look at her. She's a bad man down. She's got a figure that's shown up in attention. She poetry in motion, a beautiful sight to see. I get so excited viewing her anatomy.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Texas Tech is here. The Razorbacks are here, and ball players are getting their stretching in right field right now. Saw Blaine Knight at Baum-Walker Stadium earlier today. That was cool. I hadn't seen him in a while. He was
good dude.
Yeah, great dude. Throwing a bullpen, hoping to get picked up by another organization. So hopefully that'll happen. But it was one of those moments I start and setting the stuff up. I'm sitting in the radio booth. I see somebody throwing in the outfield. Who is that? I was going to pull my binoculars up, but I recognized his mechanics. You watch somebody throw 1,000 pitches over a baseball season, watch him throw for 3 years, you kind of get used to the way the guy moves. So I knew exactly who that was. And it was Blaine Knight, and it was great to see him. You just get used to seeing those mechanics. I'm also I saw something on Sunday. I don't know if I brought this up with you guys yesterday. I don't think I did. There is a different Dave Van Horn on a rubber game. The third game of the series when you've split the first two. I call it rubber match DVH because let's put it in these terms. Matt, when you played on either football or basketball, when the bus pulled up at the arena or the stadium, who got off the bus first?
Coach.
Coach got off the bus first. Okay. Always?
To the best, Coach was up front. Coach Nutt always, he was always on the front seat. If you're on that bus, man, and he used to, I know he just brought up Tiger Woods, but it's a Tiger Woods focus. There's not a whole lot of hoopla going on game day. It's a business meeting. You're going there. You're going to work.
So Dave is always the first man off the bus, and I don't ride the bus. I drive to the ballpark. I get to the ballpark, and I'm setting my stuff up, and about an hour later, the team bus shows up, and DVH is 50 yards ahead of anybody else. And he is marching like he is coming to kick some ass. Got the look on his face. Now
jaw is set.
Jaw is absolutely. You know that jaw. You know the look. So you might have breakfast with him at the hotel on the Sunday of a rubber match, and it's just, he's Dave. At that point he's Dave. He's a very friendly, talkative person who's got a sense of humor and will sit and shoot the crap with you. When you show up at the ballpark on rubber match Sunday, now that's DVH. That's power stance DVH, 50 to 60 yards ahead of anybody else. And it is, I'm just entertained by it. I don't know. It's like watching somebody walk. Why would I be entertained by that? It's not like he's on a catwalk or a model or anything, but I don't know. I just get a kick out of it.
So players they follow their coach. They if they don't, they won't be with that coach for long. But he's the leader. It's funny, Bobby Petrino, when he was early on in his first year, and I was like, Coach, who are your leaders on this team? He goes, we don't need any leaders on this team. I'm the leader. I mean, I'm dead serious. I looked at him. He goes, they need to follow me. They need to listen to me. And he says, some of them will begin to talk like me, and those are the ones that I know I've got. They say the same thing. So you talk to Dave's players. They talk like him, don't they, Phil?
They can. Yeah. They can. They can follow in some of those.
They start to get the phrases. They start to, and then there's some of them that if they like, okay, there's my coach, and my pants, they're pulled up at the knee, because that means you mean business. Because Dave's told them that, and you see them on Sunday, they got their pants up, their knees are up, showing their red socks. To me, it was always fascinating to watch all of that, like just exactly what you just said. I saw it with Nolan too.
Dave's just kind of entertaining to watch, even during a workout. He is, and I mean, maybe it doesn't entertain people if you watch somebody just maneuver from what he does during batting practice. Is he'll start out past where the second baseman would stand. I mean, he wants to watch every batter from a different angle, but when that's not the entertaining part. It's just that he stands there, motionless, until a ball comes at him, and when it comes at him, like he still has those the ability to duck and dive. He obviously has played dodgeball in his life, and he's probably ducked a wrench and those sort of things. But he ducks and he dives and he gets out of the way, and then he stands up and he points at the player. He points at the player almost with the double pointer finger, like the Australian rules football referees, with the tan jackets and the cool hats, and they do the double point on any kick that goes right down the middle of their goal. That's what he does, and I don't know. There's something about Dave that's just entertaining when I'm watching him during BP.
So I read the Hogs Illustrated forums, message board. There's one for baseball, and there's a frequent poster, and I'm not going to say his name, but everybody that there would know who I'm talking about. And a few weeks ago, he said, I think Dave's about ready to retire. He kind of looks soft to me this year. And I was like, okay, where did you get that? Maybe it was in a 15-2 game or something that you saw that he actually cracked a smile, patted somebody on the butt when they came past him. But I don't see that. And, when you're around him, Bill, would you think that could be remotely possible that anybody could say that guy has gotten softer?
No.
Me neither.
I don't think
Hey,
so at all.
If you told him that, it would piss him off.
Yeah, well, I think he's changed as a head coach, and I think he's not as outwardly intense, and I think that's what people might have, they remember some of those things.
Yeah, I think he's trying to keep guys a little looser as long as they're focused.
Right. And they are focused. And look, also he's been successful everywhere he's gone, but there's an uptick in these last 6 to 7 years where he isn't as, I don't want to say explosive. It's just, he's still intense. It's just a quieter kind of intensity.
Their teams are good.
It happens to coincide with the best run that this program's ever had.
Yeah, they're good.
So I think that maybe these things are kind of correlated.
He's got a good staff.
Brandon asked, could you imagine his mood until about the 5th inning yesterday? Well, part of that is you don't want to project, not panic, but you don't want to project like anger or whatever. I mean, you got to try,
or tightness.
Well, you got to try to keep it loose, and a manager, a head coach, just like a team captain, can kill the mood or elevate it, or just let the players in the dugout handle it. And I think that's what he did, and I think they showed a reason why you can kind of do that.
Well, if he thinks you're not trying, he won't try to change the mood. He'll replace you.
Let's see, 877-377-6963. Players that are athletes that brought you into a sport and turn you into a fan. Henry in Fayetteville said Usain Bolt would be one. The thing I would just wonder. Now I like watching track and field at the Olympics, but that's the only time that I watch it. I watch it once every 4 years. So I don't know if I'd say like he turned me or I don't know too many people that turned into track and field fans based on Usain Bolt. Maybe I'm wrong, but every 4 years, I mean, that is somebody that's on the top of people's minds. It's maybe the same thing about Michael Phelps. I mean, were you watching the World Championships annually, or are we watching the Olympics every 4 years? It's like
what about your boy Conor McGregor? You think UFC? Who I'm trying to think who a UFC fight, because it's tough for me sometimes just to see somebody keep getting their head pounded into the ground. But I get the concept of it. But Conor McGregor made me watch a couple fights. You kind of check that out.
That makes sense. That does. I grew up a boxing fan. I think everybody was a boxing
Jermaine
fan.
Taylor, I guess because it's an Arkansas guy, I watched him fight. Bernard Hopkins, Winky Wright. I watched him fight just because he was from Arkansas.
We'd gotten a text in, and I don't remember who it was from, that said Richard Petty. Richard Petty turned him into a NASCAR fan. Now that I can see.
I get that.
That's a personality-based sport.
What about Wemby? You think he, the 7'4" Frenchman, Olympics? That next time you see Wemby play is going to be for the French national team in the Olympics. That's going to be wild.
Do you have Tony Parker as a teammate?
He was with his. So Tony Parker owns a team over there in France, in their league, and he was him and what I've read, he was trying to get Wemby on his team, for that, and then he comes over to the States, and you have to thank their buddies because he goes to the Spurs with Popovich and all that. So you would think that they're in cahoots.
One of the originals that would go into this conversation is Babe Ruth. I think he turned a lot of people into baseball fans that might have never seen a game, but they read about
the summer of '99. Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. I mean, how that was Barry, but I mean that was must watch. That steroid era of baseball, man. That was the high point. It seemed like for a while of baseball.
Well, then we got to watch highlight shows and 30-minute baseball tonight that was based on all of that. Nobody was watching highlights of Babe Ruth hitting home runs in the 20s. They were reading about it. That was getting them excited about it, reading about it and thinking, I got to get a look at this. And then they get a look at it. Like, you know what? This sport's actually kind of fun. Yeah, I think people viewed baseball through the lens of Babe Ruth for decades. So that I think it's kind of weird to think about it, but that's in the same conversation as Caitlin Clark. Seth asks, let's see, do you think after the first year of Clark playing women's pro ball, the hype will continue to more seasons? He's skeptical. And I understand that, Seth. What you need is a reason to root, something to root for, somebody to root for, something that keeps you coming back game after game after game. Look, that's why I have trouble watching Major League Baseball games, because I don't, I'm not, no reason to get into the whole Pirates thing, but it's like I'm more interested when I feel like I have something to root for that I believe in. And I think there are a lot of people from the outside looking into the WNBA that are maybe right now just going to become Indiana Fever fans because they turned on the television to watch Caitlin Clark. Now, does it last after this? That's the $80 million question.
And it's important. It could be a little of an Allen Iverson effect. You think of the little guards that can score 40, but it's important for the team to win and for the team to have success. I think if they're out there and they start the season 3-17, I think that kind of fades a little bit.
Well, and Clark has to be great. And this is why, all the conversation about the money she might make in college compared to what she's making in the pros is missing the point of what an athlete is trying to do. Yeah, you're trying to make a living, but you're testing yourself. You are testing yourself against the absolute best competition that you can. And as good as women's college basketball is, the WNBA is better. So I absolutely get why she wants to go do that instead of returning where she's been the dominant player. And maybe she will be the dominant player in the WNBA. But in order for this to last, she has to be great. Just like Bird and Magic. They were great once they got into the NBA. If they weren't, well, all the hype surrounding them and around, the Celtics and the Lakers probably wouldn't have continued. So she just has to be great, and watch probably will be. We got a break. We got a couple callers on hold, but we are right up against it, and I apologize. We got a break. We'll take these phone calls on halftime in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BIKE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BIKE to 321-321. That's BIKE to 321-321.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing. Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Down the walking cane, hand me down my back. Now don't, cause we ain't got time to die. You and me, we're going out, catch the That sound guaranteed to blow your mind. So high you won't come down. Y'all prepare yourself.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Clardy Daniel hotline remains open for you now as we get into the home stretch on a Wednesday, 877-377-6963. The one and only Clay Henry is with us as well as we take you up till 2 o'clock for Ruskin and Zach. I see the baseball team. These must be new shirts, Gorilla Ball shirts that they're wearing for batting practice because, you know, they give away the toy gorilla to whomever has the big hit or had the biggest game offensively. So,
like a Donkey Kong?
Yep, got a theme now. Got a theme. So gorilla in the dugout, gorilla mask when you come into the dugout for a home run, and now Gorilla Ball T-shirts. So we have our theme for the year. Anyway, I wanted to bring up a little more about the spring game and the state of the Razorback football team as we've got Clay with us here. It'll be the only time that we have him this week. And, Clay, I know that you were, last year when you talked about the tackles at spring ball, that was our first real clue that maybe that would be the weak point. Doesn't sound like that's going to be a weak point. Is there anything on defense that you might have seen that stood out? Because it sounds like offensively things are in a good direction.
Yeah,
I haven't heard too much about defense.
Yeah, what I'd like to see a little more depth in the defensive line, and I think they'll address that in the portal. You can do that. They'll buy him another defensive tackle or something. I mean, you just got to have bodies there, so that you can rotate. You have to. If you don't rotate those big guys, they give out in the fourth quarter. And I mean, it's just there's not any that are built to play every play of 4 quarters in the SEC. You just have to rotate at those 2 inside spots. You need about 5. You need 2 deep plus 1 more. And I'm not sure they're there. They might be. I didn't watch that enough, but I just know that that's what they say. The other position that, you lost, a good player transferred to Ole Miss in Poopall at linebacker and made a lot of tackles. I think they felt like they really had, top-end guys ready to go. Brad Spence, would be the first one, and they got Xavier Sorey in the transfer portal. That's Travis Williams. He's the defensive coordinator. He coaches the inside linebackers, so I feel like that if he's happy, I'm happy. If that's, kind of like Bobby Petrino's happy with the quarterback, I'm happy. And I think if Sam Pittman's happy about the offensive line, then I'm happy. And so far, that's what I see. That's the vibes I feel. I watched I wasn't at the scrimmage Saturday, but it wasn't the kind of thing that I really care to watch. I mean, 1s against the 2s and 3s. In other words, the 1s against the world. If those guys don't dominate, then you know you got a problem. And they did dominate. And the quarterback looked good. Receivers looked good. But they should. The 2 scrimmages that I watched, it was 1s against 1s. And you get a feeling that these offensive tackles against guys, they've got defensive ends that have played, including Landon Jackson. And if they're holding up under that kind of pressure, those kind of defensive ends, then you got a good feel for where this team is headed. All things being somewhat equal at quarterback. In other words, if you don't have a deficit at quarterback, it comes down to how your tackles are. And I'm talking about offense and defense. This is a line of scrimmage league. And Phil, it's interesting. I talked to one of my colleagues from Oklahoma that covers OU, and he was talking to, one of their all-time greats that's been at practices at OU, and he said they're not physical enough. They are not ready for the SEC because that's what that league is. And I'll kind of flip that around to what I thought Bobby Petrino told Sam, and I think this is what happened. I mean, I can just tell by the way they're practicing. We got to go good against good. We got to tackle. We got to go live. We've got to scrimmage, and we've got to hit during the week. They were much more physical this year. And if I'm talking about the spring, I think the mantra is we got to get guys to the game has flipped around is, hey, we'll get them to the game and we'll get more players if we get them hurt, but we've got to find out who will play when it's down and dirty.
Is there anything that you've seen from Anton Junkic? You talk about the defensive line.
Yeah, he was one of them that I watched. I thought he was a nice player. Yeah,
he's the one coming up from FCS from Albany, where didn't he lead the?
He's
FCS
a nice player.
sacks?
He's got the physical attributes.
Good. I mean, they've done well when it comes to bringing up a defensive.
Not very many
lineman
misses from the portal. Yeah.
Well, even from FCS, I think Ridgeway, coming up from Illinois State and how well he did, and I think he's still in the NFL. So, but he played a different position. He was right there, kind of like a nose tackle. I don't think it was nose tackle necessarily, but that's the way I viewed him. And Junkic is on the end, right?
Well, so what Ridgeway did is he required 2 men, and that changes everything. Boy, it's just imagine playing linebacker behind Lloyd Phillips. Just imagine playing linebacker behind Leroy Selman. Just imagine playing linebacker behind Wayne Martin. The game's easy. Nobody's ever at your feet because they got to take 2 linemen to take care of that guy because he's going to wreck every play if you play him with 1. The linebackers, they can just run and make plays, and it's a different. If you don't have a guy up there like Ridgeway that requires attention, that you're worried what he's going to do to your center. He's going to throw him into your quarterback. The line pushes that way. Ridgeway was really unique in that he played at a very high pad level, and you look at it and he's like, you can't get away with that in the SEC. Well, he did because his hands were so strong. The wrestling background. He took linemen and just took them and put them where he wanted, and then he went through into a gap. Very unique in that he played with a high pad level but got away with it.
Matt, the way I hear that Clay talked about the spring game, I think is very much the way that you and I may have discussed about the play-in tournament, first 4, those sort of things. It's programming and maybe different, with the competitiveness in what should be a playoff game or a first 4, but it's meant to look
gimmick.
But it's meant to look a certain way on television.
It's a gimmick.
The product is the TV show, and what matters more, not necessarily the spring game, it's the practices leading up to it.
Yeah, you want to see the players having fun. You want to see them being agile, being athletes. It's kind of an eye test only thing. The numbers don't matter. It's just you getting your eyes on them, looking at how they go about it, how they carry themselves.
Spring game, and I'm not a player, never have been, not a coach, but I've always heard from players that the spring game was the celebration that spring was over. I mean, it was like, man, we got to the finish line. Hey, we're gonna have a couple of days to rest our tired, achy joints and muscles. We'll get into off-season training really quick, but we're gonna get on to our grades and get our academics focused and find out what our what our final grade is. We're gonna sit down with our coach, but the 14 other practices, that's the grind. That's a relief that there's not going to be a grind tomorrow. It's over. I'm gonna get away from my coaches for a couple of days. They're going to go recruiting. Matt, you can speak on that, but that's always the way I read spring games.
No, you're right on. It's a celebration. It's almost like a kind of a bowl game. It's meant to be a reward for putting in work for those other 14.
Let's try Mike in Grove, Oklahoma before we hit the break. Mike, thanks for calling the McClarty Daniel hotline. What's going on?
Hey, guys. First, I want to make a comment. I also live in Grove. I'm a big OU fan, but I would rather listen to you guys' show than the one here in Oklahoma.
Okay.
You guys are outstanding.
Good compliment. Thank you.
Your information off the charts. My question is, you guys already talked about this, but I noticed last night 5 Duke players entered the transfer portal. Has there been any talk about any of those possibly going Fayetteville?
Roach was the one that we talked about earlier, their point guard. I think he's already played 4 years, so he has 1 year left.
Yeah,
he's a solid player.
I mean, I think there's talk every time there's one of those, those big blue chippers come into the portal. And this is where it's different. You didn't ever talk about those guys until the connection was made. But now that you got Coach Cal, you talk about every one of them might be coming here. Every one of those the bluest of the blue, he's going after. You know that. So there may not be interest in those guys, but at least that that he can get the conversation going. There's some coaches that they send you that note, we're interested in you, and I mean they go, it's an email or it's a text or whatever, and they just go delete, right? It's like the girls when I would call them out years and years ago to get a date. I knew they were just deleting me. Just
stay with us. It's time to wrap up halftime. We'll do that in just a moment.
This is halftime.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. You need the Lindbergh team, home of Arkansas's only instant offer program. Get a cash offer on your home in only 72 hours. Lindbergh Real Estate Group is the #1 team in Arkansas with over $1 billion sold and voted best of the best 10 years in a row, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and now the River Valley. Find out more at lindberghteam.com. LIMBIRD.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Hey, I'm Hagen Smith. As an Arkansas pitcher, I know the importance of precision, skill, and keeping cool under pressure. That's why for your home, choosing the right team for heating and air is just as important. You want professionals who bring their best game. When it comes to staying comfortable, I rely on Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. They'll send pros to take care of your home, too. Sign up now for Pascal's Plan Protection membership before the summer heat for only $8.99 a month. Never pay for a tune-up again when they're included in your membership. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
The Camping World RV Expo is coming to the Choctaw Casino and Resort in Pocola, Oklahoma, April 18th through the 21st. Admission and parking are free. Tour over 50 fully staged new RVs starting at less than $5 a day. Plus, take advantage of special RV Expo pricing. Participate in the ultimate RV giveaway for your chance to win a new RV and more. Don't miss the Camping World RV Expo at the Choctaw Casino and Resort in Pocola, Oklahoma, April 18th through the 21st. Learn more at campingworld.com/Pocola. Certain restrictions apply. For more details, visit campingworld.com/Pocola.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster. And in the past decade as a roofing contractor, he knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. I'm your doctor when you need. Want some coke, have some weed. You know me, I'm your friend, your main boy, thick and thin. I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Jeez, not standing anymore. Back on halftime and wrapping things up. Just got my game notes pack, which you never know if they're going to print the game notes for you or not. But this is how you know when you get game notes printed, that means it's a televised game. Because, you know, the ESPN guys need to have their paper printed for them. They can't do it themselves. So, yeah, it's on SEC Network. So I guess, I don't know if Ravitch and KP are on the call again. I'm assuming they are because it's the only game in the SEC.
Hey, they got the bases loaded hats given to them last night.
Well, all you got to do is ask for something on television, and someone will give it to you.
Yeah, the hospitality guys, they were all in plastic wraps. You know, they had brand new ones.
The hate was flowing free and easy for Ravitch and KP on Twitter last night, Matt. Radio broadcast is always the right way to go, and I think Ravitch and KP do great work. I'm a big fan of Kyle Peterson, but yeah, go to the radio broadcast. Run at 3:30 today.
Hey, I'll throw this out too. You know, you're talking about the game notes. The baseball SID at Arkansas, Oliver Griggs is just terrific, just terrific. And,
he is.
When you read releases, he can really write. And you know that's not what their job is. Their job is to, you know, is there's about 400 things that are probably higher priority, but the guy can write.
Well, I think we've reached the end of the show. The music's starting in about 4 seconds. Clay, appreciate you, man. Have a good rest of the week. We'll look forward to visiting with you Wednesday next week, day after the Dickey Stevens Park game. And
you guys are nice to have.
Let's go
Thank
baseball.
You very much. Yep.
Absolutely. You got that right, Matt. Let's go baseball times just one today. We're only going to play one game. And a big woo. Yeah, and if you missed Eddie in Clarksville's phone call with his kind of back and forth with Matt Jones, it should be on the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast. Same with our interview with Grant Hall and some of the stuff with Clay Henry. That's the best woo you've ever done, Clay. It's well done. I'll woo with you at 3:30, 4 o'clock first pitch with my friend Bubba Carpenter as well, and we're with you tomorrow for halftime. I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
The Steel Horse Rally is coming to town May 3rd and 4th. Get ready for it with Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith. Need a new or pre-owned motorcycle to show off on Garrison Avenue at the rally? Need to get